welcome to my first ever effort of the Pentagon Challenge in Football Manager 24. So really basic rules to this, looking to win all 5 Champions Leagues, so that's the African Champions League, the Asian Champions League, North America, Copa Libertadores and the European Champions League. Very straightforward, as I said. What we will need to do though is we need to start with previous experience of Sunday League football to make it difficult to obtain high profile jobs in the beginning, and also start with 0 coaching badges again for the exact same reason. So probably for this side of things we'll look to start off the challenge within kind of the lower leagues of Africa or Asia, a bit easier to obtain the jobs within those leagues with these sort of badges and experience and so on and poor reputation. Look to build our way up and hopefully get our way through and win all the Champions Leagues. So we begin our managerial journey here on the 3rd of July 2023. As we can see, I've applied for an absolute ton of jobs in my absolute desperation here to get started on my managerial journey. We can see at the moment they're all my applications are all kind of spread across Asia and Africa, so really best chance I'm probably going to get is the J2 League or South African First Division or Chinese First Division. We take the J3 League at a push, but let's see if I have any luck with any of these applications. So we've hit the 12th of July and we've got our first job interview with Fukushima. I believe they're in the Japan J2 League, so let's attend the interview. All of them kind of go the same. So Tomio Yamada has welcomed me, looking to give me an interview to hire me, hopefully. So up for a few jobs at the moment. Am I hedging my bets? Yes, I'm considering my options. Are you the right man to lift us from a solid platform and take us to the next level? I will bank on my really poor reputation and hope that that's good enough to obtain the job role. If you emerge as a successful candidate, I'd be expected to adhere to their club vision. Yes, that's fine. We're targeting a mid-table place. Can you think that's attainable? Let's be ambitious and go for the top 5. Looking to offer me a budget of 336,000 for the transfers. Yes, that's fine for me. And a wage budget of 16,440. That's fine. Do you have anything for us to consider? No, I'm unemployed. Please just hire me because I'm desperate. Okay, so they're going to go and have a think about things. Let's see if we have any luck. So it's 12th of July. I've been approached now for my first job role from Yokohama in Japan. So have a quick look at them. They're in the J3 League, which isn't ideal. I would probably rather go to one of the first divisions, but they're sitting third from bottom as well, so it's not really an ideal job opportunity. So let's just delay the decision for now. We've had quite a lot of job offers so far, but this was by far the funniest one. So we've got Dongguan United, who are offering me £100 per week with a £350 per week wage budget. I don't know who I'm going to get in for that side of things, but they're in the Chinese First Division and they're a professional side. Other clubs have been offering me far better deals, so we've got 400 there, 650. We'll definitely be saying no to Dongguan. So we've now got a job offer coming in from Marumo Gallants, which is quite an interesting one. They're from the First Division of South Africa. So they're offering us £475 per week with a transfer budget of 65,000 and a healthy wage budget of 12.25k per week. Just a wee quick look at Marumo Gallants. Predictions third in the table. So having a look at the league table, see the league's not started, which is good, but they are predicted from the media to finish 4th at 41. They are a recently relegated side, so they should have a very good squad, so it's worth considering. So we came back round now to having to make a decision for Marumo Gallants, who we just discussed. Had a lot of other job offers, but to be honest, this one looks to have maybe the best potential to get into the Champions League a bit quicker. They want us to get promoted, which is absolutely fine, and then building promotion, and I think we've got enough about us to do that, so maybe worth just entering negotiations with them and seeing if we can get the job here. So let's try and get a 2-year deal out of them. Nah, they're not happy with that. Do you know what? Let's just finalise it. I'm sure they'll give me a new deal. And we will just continue on. And here's the confirmation. We have been welcomed to Marumo Gallants. Happy days. We now have a job and a chance to start the challenge off. Let's break down the tactic we're going to use first of all. So we're going to use a 4-4-2 with more advanced wingers and a balanced mentality. So we're going to have 2 centre backs, 2 full backs attacking, to overlap with the wingers that are going to play as inside forwards so that they do cut in and give some space there. One pressing forward who's going to probably exchange positions and drop back a little. We've got our advanced forward there who's going to be our main goal threat, and two players playing defensive midfield who will provide some support as well. In terms of the squad depth, we do actually have a decent squad, so in terms of singular positions we're okay. Maybe centre back's a little bit lacking, but we've got the basis of a good starting lineup here. Really, these are probably our better players of the attacking ones going forward, but we've got a little bit of issue with squad depth here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right wingers and 2 left wingers, and very little else in the bench really to help us out with defensive depth, defensive midfield depth. That's really what we're going to have to look at trying to sort out for this squad. So say with the finances, we're not in bad shape. We're a little bit over the wage budget for now. We've got some transfer budgets. We'll see if we can put that into the wage budget. If we do move it over a little bit, then it does give us a little bit of money to play with. Not a great deal, but maybe something to bring in some depth. We might be able to get some loan deals in. I'll go in and show you one of our kind of first games. It's against Hungry Lions. We won this game 6-0, so I guess they weren't hungry enough. We can see how the tactics working. We're bombing forward at a lot of speed here and pinging it in quite easily as well. If you look at this wee guy in the wing, I find him really funny because he's so small. We see it probably more in the next highlight when he's celebrating this goal with the striker. He's absolutely tiny, so small. But yeah, it's looking really good, the tactic. I think we've got a good chance against the rest of this league. It doesn't look like a great league, so I think we could be going up first season here. We're now at the 24th of September, which is the transfer deadline, so I'll show you some of the signings. We brought in Keegan Ritchie, who looks to probably be one of our starting left backs. Ryan de Jong comes in, likely to start at right back for us, looks to be the better option, can also play defensive midfield. Arends can play right back or centre back, gives us a lot more depth. And if we look at Givmore Coupe, I believe, he's a centre back that's came in. He will probably be a starter as well. Mohamed Kareem comes in on loan from Sundowns, again gives us more depth at centre back and defensive midfield. And Samkelo Mkwazeli is another right back that's came in to give us more depth. So all of our signings is really to cover the defence. In terms of the squad, we can see the depth now is a lot better. And starting off with 1-4 and drawn 1, so we're looking pretty good to start off the season. Season preview has now got us as the favourites, and if I take that off, we've got a few players in the media Dream 11 as well now. But some good news, I'm getting to go for my National C licence. The board are covering it for me. Should take 4 months, give or take. £480 covered by the board, as I said, so we should see a little bit of improvement with my reputation. So we come back now on the 1st of January 24, just to show you how it's gone with everything so far. So in terms of the league, with the South African Cup prelim round, we've beat Milford. Milford actually offered me the job before. A couple of friendlies scheduled in just to keep the match sharpness up, but we're looking really good at the moment. Our form's tremendous. League table, we're absolutely rocking it, and Gesson's got 18 goals in 15 games. We did say he would be the star striker. But 14 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses, goal difference of 40. Can't really ask for much more at this stage of the season. We've come back on the 2nd of June, that's the season officially finished. We can see we had a strong run to the end of the season, made it all the way to the Cup final as well. We did have 1 loss against La Masia away from home, a wee bit disappointed in that, but yeah, the Cup run, 3-1 against Swallows in the second round. Amazulu 3-2 in the quarters, Hull Queen City 2-0. Now beat Orlando Pirates in the final. Orlando Pirates actually finished 8th in the Premier League, so gives us a little bit of optimism going into the new season that we can actually compete against the Premier League teams. If we look at our own league table, we won the league very, very comfortably. We only lost in 1 game, drawn 2 and won in 27. Huge goal difference as well. Massive margin between the sides. So Cyril and Gesson, 27 goals he got, but this Prince guy managed to somehow beat him for top scorer, so let's get him scouted, maybe he's really good. we'll have a more kind of in-depth look at the league here as well, to see what we've done. So we scored 111 and only conceded 39, which was the second best defensive record this season. Best offensive record by miles. So you can see in terms of records, most points in a season, we've absolutely smashed that. 71, we've had 83. So we've broken that record. Broken the record for most team goals with 111, and Cyril and Guessing got most goals per player in the match. For some reason, they don't seem to record the most overall goals for players in the season here. But yeah, back into squad and staffing. So looking at jobs at the moment, see what's available. Everything there's a little bit too much for us because my profile's only 1 star at the moment. So realistically, we can only go for jobs of kind of similar standard. So it's highly likely that we're not going to get much that's kind of going along here. Possibly the Korean League might have been good, but I think really for us at the moment, might just be a case of kind of staying put. So we've got Europa League football, the equivalent of it for Africa next season, so we can certainly look to enhance our reputation with that side of things and get a season maybe under our belt in the Premier League. That might be an interesting job, Galaxy, but they're in the Premier League, or they've just been relegated, so there's no point. That's really taking a step back, I think, if we went there. So yeah, going forward, I think we stick where we are. The squad performance is really strong this season. Finances are looking pretty healthy, to be fair. We've got a good wage budget to take into the following season as well, so maybe we'll pick up a few free transfers, help to bolster the squad a little bit, and see where we go from here. I got this message through from the board. Now, I'm all for packing out the Dr. Rantley Petrus Molamela Stadium, but I think reducing the ticket prices following promotion by 83% down to £3 per ticket is a little bit ridiculous, and also reducing the season tickets, so there wasn't anything for them anyway, so no one was buying anything, but projected yearly earnings are terrible now. I don't know what's going on. We'll come back on the 1st of July to welcome some new signings who've came in from free transfers for the contracts expiring. So we've brought back in Mohamed Karim, who was on loan last season. Tobani Kuneni as a striker looks very good for this sort of level, so he can certainly compete up front for us. And we've also brought in Kubeka, who's a goalkeeper and looks to be probably just as good as the one we've got. So we're back on the 23rd of September, so Season 2's transfer deadline day. We'll run through some of the transfers quickly. We've got Ntia in at left back. Chelly comes in to play up front. Ndike comes in for right back or defensive mid. Ndifa Jane comes in for right back or centre back. Velviks came in as a striker. Bumbitsi has come in as a left back. Chanda comes in at centre back. And we've already seen Kuneni earlier. Same with Kubeka, the goalkeeper. So we've got a couple of really good players coming in there. We've also got some players that we picked up towards the end of last season, and that was Otladisa, and he is a left winger, looks very good. Sumahora as a centre back looks good, and Kareem we've seen as well, with Chanda. So yeah, looking like a good squad there. Schedule for the season so far. We're in the African Conference Cup, so the Europa League version of Africa. We've done well in the league. We did lose our opening game 4-1 against Orlando Pirates, so we were a little bit wary, especially after beating them in the final last season. But it's been a decent start so far. Can't really have too many complaints with the start to the season. So we're still scoring plenty of goals, still in the cup, and picking up some really strong wins. So if a quick look at the league table as well, we're currently sitting in 3rd place, 5 wins from 6. Veldwick is a new striker, sitting at the top there. We are predicted to finish in 14th. I think we've got a better squad than that. I think the media are doing us a little bit dirty there. And if we check the rules as well, you need to actually win to get into the Champions League, so we'll be looking to try and win the league this season if possible, see if that can get us in there. We're now on the 1st of June, the end of the season for season number 2. Decided not to do too much of this season because we're not even in the Champions League, but we're runners-up of the South African Knockout Cup. We ended up winning the South African FA Cup again this season, and we got knocked out in the semi-finals by Cape Town City in the equivalent of the Europa League, which is quite disappointing considering Cape Town City finished below us in the league. In terms of league performance, you can see we finished in third, but we're only 4 points off of winning the league for really good goal difference. So I think with a little bit of good recruitment this season, there's no reason why we can't go on and win the league. Finance-wise, we've got quite a bit of money following the Europa League equivalent run, 4.5 million. Hoping that the board will put that into wage and transfer budget at some stage, but we did pick up a couple of players, one player in January, and that's Joe Van Nisic, who's been playing defensive midfield. Really solid pick-up for us, quality player for this sort of league. So if we look at the squad just now, we can have a look at the squad performance. You can see a lot of green here. Obviously anything over 7 is pretty much good rating, but Lars Veldwick, definitely signing of the season. He's picked up 52 goals from 43 starts and 4 sub appearances. Comfortably our top scorer, and Guessing did also contribute very well for us too. So a lot of players there in the double figures for goals. A lot of players being taken for us as well in terms of league performance. See Veldwick comfortably get top goal scorer this season. He also got the highest average rating, and we had 2 players in the assists, and King and Love in the clean sheet market. He's done pretty well too. We'll come back on the 1st of January for season number 3. It's just really to try and speed the video up a little bit. So we're predicted to finish in 8th this season. It's a little bit of an improvement, 50 to 1, but we still don't have anyone sitting in the media dream 11s. Yes, the team's not quite there yet. But scheduling wise, we've looked very good. We've got a lot of green there, showing a lot of wins, a lot of goals being scored as well. We did lose in the semi-final of the Super 8 Cup. I believe that's for the teams that finished in the top 8 places in the league. But if we go a little bit further down here, we can see the South African Kick-Off Cup. We made it all the way to the final and we beat Sundowns 3-2. So that's a really strong result for us. Shows that we can mix it with the big teams in Africa. So looking at the Confederation Cup, so what I was saying before, the equivalent to Europa League, we're sitting top of that as well, looking pretty good. Finances are looking great. Just over 6 million in the bank. We've got wage budget and transfer budget there. We can play around with that a little bit if we really need to. We've got a couple of guys coming in, spending a little bit of money. Batman from Cape Town Spurs and Byrne from Cape Town Spurs. We're practically their better players. Transfer history, we brought in Reyes, who's a left winger. And if we go back, we did bring in a lot of players. Probably not going to show you them all. Because just again to bring the video times down a little bit. But Ryan Moon was particularly one of the better signings we made, striker. He started off well. And Porto's a goalkeeper, so he's our new starting goalkeeper. And if we're back to the schedule, I think we've got a really good chance going forward of certainly competing for the league this season, maybe getting into the Champions League. But job security wise, there's nothing really available worth going for. Potentially the Cape Town Spurs job if it went, but it's still sitting as stable at the moment. So we come back now, it's the end of the season. It's been a very successful season. We've finally done it, and we've went and won the league. We won it very comfortably in the end as well. We also won, as we've seen earlier, the South African Knockout Cup. Just displaying there that we won the league by 19 points pretty comfortably. So South African Knockout Cup was won. Quarter final of the South African Cup, so we didn't manage to do that 3 years in a row. Orlando Pirates put us out of the Super 8 Cup. And we went on and we won the Confederation Cup. So very good performance by the squad. Very happy with how the seasons went this year. So look at the schedule, and again, see all of the green there, all of the really strong results, good form all the way through the season. We look back there. And yeah, that's that 1-1 defeat there from Orlando Pirates I'm not really happy about, but these things happen. Finances, up to 7.5 million in the bank. We've got a really big transfer budget and a really healthy wage budget sitting there as well. So we could probably do a lot of damage with that in this league. Transfer wise, we did bring in the 2 players that we were looking at before. So Luke Bartman came in, who is a very strong right winger or striker, one of our better players now, along with Liam Byrne, who can play left back or defensive midfield. And Rushman Dortley also came in to complete the trio from Cape Town Spurs. He's an absolute quality centre back for this league. So yeah, it's really good signings coming in there. In terms of the squad, if we look at the performance, again we had plenty of players in green. Probably our best player of the season was Ryan Moon, who came in. He also scored 39 goals, so he was our top scorer quite comfortably. Reyes had a good season as well there, so we had a few players going over 20 goals, so pretty impressive really. And if let's go and have a quick look at my profile, you can see I've now got a Continental B licence, so at least our reputation means I can shop around a little bit. I'm going to ask again if I can go for my Continental A licence here, see if there's any chance of potentially getting that. So we're now on the 23rd of December for the start of Season 4, just showing you the season preview here just now. So we're predicted for second in the league this season, 5-2. We've made quite a lot of signings, we'll get onto that at some point, but looking at the Dream 11, we've actually got the full back line now, so all four of the defenders are all our players. Van Dijk and attacking midfielders. Keegan Johannes is rated the best defender in the league, and Mario Tudors as well is also rated one of the better players in the league. So we do have quite a strong squad. So we'll go on to the transfers just now. Looking to get this Montesino, and he's quite a young player from Colombia, but he looks really good. But I think we've got a good pulling power now because we do have a little bit of cash around us. So if we have a quick look at the squad, show you the registration side of things. You can have a maximum of 5 foreign players, but the under 21 players don't need to be registered. So I can pick up really as many of them as I like, which is pretty handy. So looking at transfer history, go back to the end of last season. So we brought in Bartman, Byrne, Dortley, and Machego also comes in, free transfer, so he's a left back, looks really good again for this level. Adam Perlin comes in, centre back, looks pretty good as well. He's in on loan, really just gives us some depth. He's really the main signings. Keegan Johannes, tremendous right back, very, very good player. Baderion comes in again just to give us a little bit of depth in central defence. And the wise man, Langeni, comes in. He's an attacking midfielder, probably using more so in the wings, but he's a breakthrough prospect. Might be playing him up front a little bit as well, but he's started off well for us. Also brought in Fredericks, who's a striker. Again, he's more one for the future. Engelbeze, right back, looks to have a little bit of quality to add depth. And Nkosi, defensive midfielder, looks really good. Kamalo, again, another good defensive midfielder for this level. Mario Tudors is a tremendous centre back for this level. I'm unsure how we managed to get him, but probably due to the fact that we can offer really big wages now. De Luca comes in as defensive midfielder, again, really, really good for this level. Can't complain. Van Dijk looks great in a sort of attacking midfield in a winger role. Verdoliak comes in, central midfield, again, should provide plenty of depth and quality whenever he plays. And Jaroshevich is new goalkeeper that comes in. He's in on loan, probably provide a little bit of cover, but the only one that really went out was Jovan Nisic. He was wanted by Henan, so we let him go. And Gaxa goes out on loan because we just haven't been able to give him any game time. So scheduling wise so far, we've had a tremendously strong start to the season. We got through the prelim rounds of the Champions League very comfortably. I think that's at 22-0. We played in the African Super Cup against Pyramids, and we're into the Super 8 final this time around. The Orlando Pirates haven't put us out this year, so we've still got the group stage to come up. Just waiting on the draw for that side of things. Premier League, we are sitting in second place at the moment, 2 points behind Orlando Pirates after drawing one game. Darwin Reyes has started off the season strongly for us, and we do have a lot of players with good average ratings as well so far. In terms of the finances, we're looking £6 million in the bank. We've still got a transfer budget there. Struggling to spend it really. The players are pretty cheap in Africa, and we can always move this across if we really need to have a lot of wage budget to attract some bigger players if we have to. scouting budget's pretty high as well, so we can scout further corners of the world. And looking at my own profile, I'm currently studying for my Continental A licence, so it should help out with reputation. Here we are at the 15th of May. We've had quite a strong season so far. See some quite strong performances everywhere across the board here. If we look particularly at the Champions League run, I'm pretty well in the group stages. I'm pretty far with it. Good wins there. Beat AS Tunis, who were probably the strongest team in the group. Second round, put out Cape Town City. We've then put out Raja Casablanca. And then we beat Club African, which now means that we are in the Champions League final and we play AS Tunis, who, as I said previously, we've already defeated in the group stage. So we have a chance. Here we are, it's African Champions League final day. I'll highlight some of the goals. We've got Reyes scoring first to open the scoring for us, giving us a wee 1-0 lead. Pick up the ball here, right through. Ryan Moon doubles the lead for us in the 27th minute. You see Reyes plays the ball wide to Mashego. Mashego crosses it in and finds Batman, who does Batman things, puts us 3-0 up. In the 71st minute. There's a goal back for AS Tunis, so 3-1 it finishes in the first leg. So we move on to the second leg. We had a corner there, but there's a break on for AS Tunis. Plays it through. And they have taken the lead and reduced the deficit to 3-2. Corner of our own in the 88th minute. And it's put in by Tudos. We have won the Champions League final 3-2. What a result for us. First part of the challenge finished. Dominated that game as well. Should have really won the tie. The match, never mind the tie. Players actually struggled a little bit going forward, but we've done well in defence. So first part of the challenge is completed. As we've just seen, first part of the challenge completed. South African Champions League has now won. So we're at the season end here. Just to do a wee recap of how the season has gone. So we won the South African Cup this season, beat Amazulu in the final 5-0. Have a look at some of the other competitions. The South African Kick-Off Cup, we also picked up the win there, beating Stellenbosch in the final. For the Super 8, we came out on top there again. Stellenbosch were beaten in the final 2-0. Feel sorry for Stellenbosch this season. We won the Super Cup against Pyramids 8-0, which really set us up for the Champions League side of things. There's a bit of confidence going into that. As we can see, the Champions League side of things, we played AS Tunis 3 times, twice in the group stages, defeating them in the final. So, strong season, as we said. Challenge is now completed, so we can start to consider looking on to the next one. It's just competitions again. We've done well in the league, but Orlando Pirates actually ran us pretty close this season. 5 points between us, a lot closer than what last season was. We'll just have a quick look at the league table in full there. We said 5 points. The Stellenbosch striker actually done really well with 30 goals this season. If we get a good look at the full league table, only lost to one game. Orlando Pirates also lost in the last game of the season. They were actually with a chance of winning the league if we had lost and they had won. So yeah, the run is very, very close. Gave it a little bit of a scare. But again, the league wasn't really important this season. It was all about the Champions League side of things. So looking at the team, how they've performed, you can see a lot of green here. Kagan Johannes, as we expected, was one of our key players this season. Quite a few guys putting in some tremendous ratings. In terms of goals, Ryan Moon was our top goal scorer again in 37. And we had quite a lot of players over 10 goals. So a lot of goal contributions throughout the squad. Really can't really complain about anything this season. Some of our defenders even popping up with double figures in goals. So yeah, we're looking like we've built a really good squad here. So when we leave, it's going to be left in good shape, I would imagine. I'd expect them to go on and achieve some good things even without us. If we look at the finances, we've left them in really good shape. 11.5 million in the bank. Wage budget, we're well under wage budget at the moment, and they've got a huge transfer budget for this sort of league. So they're definitely in great shape in terms of where we're leaving them. And if you look at my profile, I'm currently studying for my Continental A licence. I've got a 3.5-star reputation, so that should help us going forward and applying for new jobs elsewhere. We can hopefully get our foot in at a decent club, one of the other continents, see where we can kind of go and where to go next. It's likely going to be Asia, I would imagine. So we can see at the end of the season what's available to us. This is really filtered towards the Asian leagues. I think that's our best step to go for next. In terms of our reputation, we can probably get most of the jobs now within the J1 league, but you can see here just now there's nothing really available to us. There is a J2 league job for Makeda available, but I think we'll be starting in a kind of poor position there. The Nagata job's currently insecure, so we might have a look at that one if it becomes available. Just to say, this is my first ever video for Football Manager, so if you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, commenting, just to help the algorithm really. But if we look at the league for Japan, Nagata's currently in a really good position, kind of mid-season, so there would be an interesting prospect if it becomes available. Just in case you're wondering about the setup I've ran with this one, I had originally just set it up with the South African League being the only sort of playable African league in the original database, and the Asian leagues originally. Also included England and Scotland, mainly just for personal preference to see how those leagues get on. I've now added in the Mexican and United States League. I don't really see much point doing the Canadian League. I can't see the Champions League being winnable from that sort of area, but they're not playable until later in the season, so that's kind of why we're looking at the Asian leagues just now, to kind of go there. So we're really looking at sort of China or South Korea or Japan to take us forward. But we'll kind of wrap it up here and we'll see where we end up. Thanks for watching. As I said, if you could like, comment and subscribe if you could be bothered, that'd be lovely.